Guppy diseases, parasites and remedies Part 2. Swollen gills and gasping. Guppies and generally fish breathe by taking water through their mouth, and then releasing it through their gills. They take oxygen out from the water with their rake. Rake is similar to lungs, and it is a very sensitive organ. Swollen gills are usually caused by ammonia or carbonate poisoning. Ammonia is a highly dangerous toxin. It is the result of decomposing fish food, organic matter and fish waste. Carbonate can be found in different rocks and substrate. Ammonia in low quantities will burn the gills, which will become inflated. In higher quantities, ammonia is deadly. Swollen gills also cause guppies to gasp for air at the surface of the water. How to treat swollen gills? If your guppies has rapid gill movement and are gasping for air, you should immediately do a 50% water change. Also monitor water parameters during the next few days and test for ammonia. Stop feeding the fish for few days, because feeding can cause ammonia spikes. You can also add nitrifying bacteria. Red blood spot on guppy stomach or body. The red blood spots on the stomach or body of guppies can be caused by ammonia or nitrites poisoning. This usually happens in new aquariums, which are not cycled yet. A new aquarium can take up to 6 weeks to be fully cycled. If you introduce fish in a new aquarium, most likely the ammonia and nitrite levels will rise quickly, because there are not enough beneficial bacteria to transform these compounds into nitrates. Ammonia, in the smallest quantity, is deadly for guppies and most fish. Nitrite is also highly toxic and will cause poisoning and serious damage in the fish. Who just started their guppy aquarium and their fish are dying for no obvious reason. Well, ammonia and nitrites are an invisible killers. How to treat red spots? Red blood spots on the belly cannot be treated, but it is possible to save the fish if the poisoning level is not too high and you take action in time. It is better to avoid ammonia poisoning than to deal with it. Please allow your aquarium to cycle for at least 2 weeks. Better is to let it sit for 6 weeks. If you add fish before the aquarium is cycled, use a test kit to measure ammonia, nitrite and nitrate levels, 0 ppm ammonia, 0 ppm nitrite, 10 to 40 ppm nitrate. Change water frequently. Once a week might not be enough with a new aquarium. Measure the water parameters and change the water if you see any sign of ammonia or nitrite. Reduce feeding or skip a day to avoid ammonia buildup. Using live plants in your new aquarium is also really beneficial because some plants will absorb ammonia from the water. Viral hemorrhagic septicaemia, VHS. This disease is caused by a virus within the blood of the guppy fish. The first signs of viral hemorrhagic septicaemia are lesions on the body. Later ulcer and sores will develop and fins will start rotting. Pale gills and bulging eye can also be signs of VHS. The fish will eventually stop eating and become darker in color. How to treat viral hemorrhagic septicaemia? Treat all your fish with antibiotics such as Maricin 2 API Furan 2 can help cure VHS. Do huge water changes after treatment. Popped eyes. Fish pop eye can be caused by a wide range of factors, therefore is very hard to treat. Popped eyes can occur due to bad water quality, bacterial infection, dropsy, fungus, tuberculosis, or other internal parasites. Pop eye might not be deadly, but it can cause blindness to your fish. How to cure pop eye? It is very hard to cure because it is not obvious what is causing it. You can start medicating your fish with different treatments, however, you might cause more harm than good. Swim bladder disorder. The swim bladder is an internal organ in fish, which is filled with gas and helps in controlling their buoyancy. This organ is also responsible for keeping the fish at current water depth and keep balance while swimming. In guppies, swim bladder disorder is not a very common problem, but it is usually caused by high stress, moving guppies from shallow to deep water. The fish will float at an angle or upside down, unable to control the swimming and keep the balance. Poor water parameters such as high ammonia can also cause disorders in the swim bladder. Swim bladder inflammation. This problem can be spotted very easy, because the fish belly looks distend and starts swimming with the head pointing to the substrate, standing on its head. This is caused by a virus and unfortunately cannot be cured. Fish with such symptoms should be removed from the tank and destroyed right away. Gill flukes, gill worms. A tiny white worm that can be viewed with a naked eye causes the gills of the guppy fish to bleed. The fish is constantly gasping for air at the water surface, or sits at the bottom of the aquarium having a hard time breathing. How to treat gill flukes. You have to treat the whole aquarium with special medication. Follow instructions. I discovered in the early stage, fish with gill flukes can be saved. However, you can't do anything for fish with bleeding gills. Gill worms are introduced in your aquarium usually by adding new fish or plants. This is why it is important to keep newly purchased fish in quarantine. Bad water quality will also encourage the spread of gill flukes to other fish. Camallanus internal worm. Camallanus is one of the most commonly found parasites in guppies. This parasite can reach up to 0.8 inches in length and is sticking out from the anus of the fish. It is easy to distinguish from wish waste because the Camallanus has a brown or orange color and has a movement similar to worms. Occasionally other fishes attack the Camallanus, which is sticking out. There is no such proof of where the parasite is coming from. Fish breeders reported that these parasites are mostly found in guppies that are kept outdoor in ponds and fed with live cyclops. How to cure Camallanus parasite. Camallanus is usually treated with levamisole, commonly known as ergomisole, for at least 5 days, but fenbendazole and Parkide X, or D works as well. Perform substrate vacuuming, complete filter cleaning after. Do huge water changes, 70 to 90%. After 3 weeks repeat the levamisole treatment, clean filter and vacuum the substrate again. Avoid feeding live cyclops to your guppy fish in order to avoid this nasty parasite. Hexamitiasis hole in the head or body. Hexamitiasis is caused by a protozoan parasite, Hexamitia. This parasitic disease is rare in guppies. However, there are guppy fish keepers who struggle with this disease. Guppies infected with Hexamitiasis produce white, stringy feces and their colors become pale. The infected guppy will lose its appetite and eventually will refuse to eat. In other fish species such as cichlids, one or multiple holes will appear on their head. In guppies, these lesions appear on their body. How to cure Hexamitiasis. Hexamitiasis is usually treated with metronidazole, commercially known as Flagyl. The best way to treat Hexamitiasis is through medicated food. If the fish refuses to eat, the medication should be applied to the water at a dosage of 250 milligrams, 10 gallons once a day for at least 3 days. In the US, metronidazole is available at most pet shops. However, in other countries, it can be purchased with a veterinary prescription. Hexamitiasis usually appears in overstocked aquariums, where the filtration is not adequate. The lack of oxygen and water changes can also be a factor of Hexamitiasis. I highly recommend oxygenating the water, setting up proper filtration, and doing weekly water changes in order to avoid this disease. Bent spine, scoliosis. Scoliosis, commonly known as crooked back or bent spine in guppies, isn't rare. It is usually a result of genetics and environmental factors. Typically you will find this disease or anomaly in younger fish. In some guppy fry the scoliosis can be observed only from above, while in others the side view will reveal the bent spine. Usually guppies with crooked back will have trouble swimming. Scoliosis is typically caused by inbreeding guppies, and it is specific to live-bearing fish. The result of scoliosis is slower growth and swimming problems. Guppy fish with bent spine are usually weaker, and often they get bullied by the others. They also have a shorter lifespan. Reproduction of guppies with crooked back is possible, though is not recommended. Because this health issue is a result of genetics, the parents will pass it to the offspring. I've experienced a bent spine female guppy giving birth to 45 fry. About 90% of the fry had bent spine. So it is very likely that most of guppy fry will inherit this health condition. How to treat scoliosis? Unfortunately, there is no cure to bent spine. It is not contagious, however it can be inherited by offspring. Guppies with this disability can still live a good life, if you give them a good diet and good water conditions. Fish tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is caused by bacteria called Mycobacterium. The first sign of this disease is the lack of appetite, followed by hollow belly, also on their body around the anus, fin and tail rot, discoloration. The fish becomes inactive and slowly dies. Tuberculosis can be passed to other fish if they consume the dead body of the sick fish. This disease can also be passed to the offspring. Tuberculosis in fish cannot be treated easily. Dead fish should be removed from the tank immediately. Fish that are presenting symptoms should be quarantined and treated with neomycin, kanamycin, or isoniazid antibiotics. If there is no improvement, sick fish should be euthanized to avoid the spread of infection. In very rare cases, this disease can also be passed to humans. So be very careful when dealing with sick fish. Applying treatments to your fish tank. Depending on the illness, you will need to treat only one fish or the whole tank. Before applying any medication to your tank, remove the activated carbon media from your filter, because this can neutralize the medication. Once the medication is over, you can place it back. Always read the labels on the medication and follow instructions. Never overdose on the treatment, because you can cause more damage to your already sick and healthy fish. After medicating your fish, perform big water changes to eliminate the medicine from the water. Conclusion. I really hope this video has helped you to figure out the disease and treatment for your guppy fish. When keeping fish, it is important to check your fish daily and ensure you react fast to any illness. Discovering diseases early is the key in saving your fish from death. Always have medication on hand, or at least know where to go when you need them. If you have any questions regarding this content, please let me know in the comments below.